Hello, welcome to episode 5. We go again, Dublin 2023. This is my weekly vlog where I come on and talk about the highs and lows of marathon training. This will be my 66th marathon that I'll have completed, 6th one of the year, and you would think by now that I would have this nailed, but realistically, every single session that I do, I learn something new. I learn something new about myself. I learn something new about training methods. I adapt and I change. And this block has been no different. Those that have been watching from the start will have remembered, that I am trying to increase the volume of this training block. So running more miles and a lot more easier paced miles as well. I think whenever you're increasing the volume of the running that you're doing, it would be remiss to do it at a fast pace. So slow, steady, controlled, easy, low heart rate running is key, and it is paying off for me. Session 1 started on the treadmill. Very, very easy recovery run taking part on Tuesday morning. 5 miles, 45 minutes, no issues whatsoever with it. Heart rate was sitting at around about 135 beats per minute. Super, super nice and easy and controlled. Which then led me on to session 2, which was on Tuesday as well. It was a double run day. I misread the plan. So I had sort of looked ahead instead of looking at the week that I was in, and this was not meant to be a double run day. Tuesday was meant to be 9 miles recovery or 9 miles easy paced, but I ended up doing 12 miles on Tuesday. So I did 7 miles on the Tuesday evening around a really hilly route, and it turned into an unexpected progressive run. I do believe that the nice easy recovery run in the morning got the legs loosened up from last week's long sessions, and ended up 8:17 average, but the progression of it was fantastic. It started at around the 9:32 mark and just dropped down in pace each and every time. Really, really enjoyed that there, even if it was off plan. So that brings me on to Wednesday, which was session 3 of the week, and my first attempt of speed work within this training block. Now, I have been doing tempos and I have been doing some strides, but I haven't done much track work at all really this year, to be fair. Nothing that would be, anything to write home about, to be honest with you. But this was my first attempt at speed work. I do have a separate video up on it, which I'm going to link in the card here somehow, so you can watch that back if you wish. It gives you a little bit more insight into it. But this session I really enjoyed. It was 6x800 with a little bit of a warm-up and a little bit of a cool-down. And I did an 800-meter jog recovery. A couple of wee walks in the recovery as well, just to get the heart rate down too. But the average paces for my 800s were 6:18, 6:19, 6:15, 6:20, 6:19 and 6:16. All well within the range that I wanted, or actually all under the range I wanted, which was 6:20 to 6:35. Really enjoyed it, really enjoyed testing myself, and good to know where I'm at. But I say, if you want to know more about that one there, go check out that video. For the last day of August, 31st of August, I had a busy day in work, managed to get home, and it was also my daughter's birthday, so I didn't want to venture too far, so jumped on the treadmill for an easy hour. Again, low heart rate recovery, 9:21 pace. I think my heart rate sat again around the 135. If I'll just click into Strava and see, actually it was 127 on that one there. Super easy, controlled pace. Loved it, absolutely fantastic just to get that little bit of recovery in there. Quick summary of my August stats. I didn't average, I completed 302 miles in August, which is my biggest running month ever. I think every week was 100k weeks. Really, really good in terms of the volume. As I say, pump up the volume from episode 1. The volume has increased, but it is very much sustainable as well for me. Because as you see, a lot of recovery runs, a lot of low heart rate runs. I'm just not absolutely busting myself whenever it comes to even the long runs. There's a time and a place for running marathon paced runs. I did read through the week here as well. Some studies have been done with in terms of marathon paced versus long runs done at slower than marathon paced. And if you think about it, a marathon paced run should feel easy. It shouldn't, because you've got to do it for 26 miles. So if it feels hard, you're pushing too much. So you're not building them as much aerobic capacity as you probably should be. You're probably dipping into the well a little bit too much. And that probably comes in the last 10k to 5k of the marathon. But in training, maybe we shouldn't be doing that quite as often. And I think my training block does replicate that quite a lot, where a lot of my long runs have been done at sort of 8:30 pace, which is well below the marathon pace that I'm hoping to run in Dublin 23. But I'm getting the benefit of it, because whenever I do throw in marathon paced efforts, they are feeling good. So yeah, August, 302 miles, really happy with that there. First run of September was an 11-mile easy paced run. This was done on Friday. Friday afternoon. It was a known route. It's a road route that I know fairly well. I dropped down from Macrofeld, run into Castle Dawson, do a couple of loops around the Broke Road and come back up the road. And I say up the road because it is a climb for 4 miles. It's something that I have been purposefully doing within this training block, is making sure that whenever I'm running anything over sort of 9 to 10 miles is that I'm finishing on an uphill. And the reason that I'm doing that there is in Dublin, around the 11-mile mark, we will be climbing, and I want to get the legs used to that feeling. I'm trying to build as much race efficacy as I can and trying to replicate the route in my head as best I can. There is a video the Dublin Marathon put out with the route course. It's very good. So for those that are doing Dublin for the first time, please do go and check it out as well. And again, I'll try and link it into the comments maybe. It should be easy enough linked in. But yeah, it's a really good video to watch. It gives a course description. It tells you where to be careful of, tells you what hills are coming up, tells you to be careful of traffic control measures, etc. Where the crowds are, and very good. So yeah, go and check that one out. But the first run of September, 11.26 miles, 8:28 average, super easy, super controlled. Really enjoyed that run. Long run Saturday. Not often I do a long run on a Saturday, but I was working on Sunday and I knew I just wouldn't have time for 2 to 2.5 hours run. This run was done, it was 17 miles. It was meant to be 15 on the training plan. I read it as 16 and I picked the wrong route, which turned into 17. So I did 2 miles more than what was expected in a down week. This down week actually turned into quite a big down week, but in terms of volume, I'm really happy with it, and it wasn't that I busted myself. 17 miles, 8:47 average, 2 hours 29 minutes. Ridiculously hard route that I picked. I again dropped into Castle Dawson, so the first 3 miles were downhill, and the next 14 miles were almost exclusively uphill. There was a few small drops, but it was just climb thereafter. I was wondering whenever I hit the sort of 13-14 mile marks, why are my legs feeling tired? And reflected, okay, what have I done? I've done speed work this week. I've done 11 miles the day before, and I'm running uphill for the last sort of 13-14 miles of this run. Of course, my legs are going to feel beat up, but when I look back at the heart rate, it remained steady. It remained within control. My head was in a good place. I didn't let it drop. I loved it. It was an absolutely fantastic session to round out a big long week. But yeah, 17 miles, 8:47 average, done on a Saturday because I was working on the Sunday. Final run for the week was done on Sunday. I woke up a little bit earlier, jumped onto the treadmill, banged out a nice wee 6-mile easy paced run and threw in 10 by 100 meter strides, or 10 by 30-second strides, because my treadmill was in miles and I got a little bit confused, but I thought 30 seconds should be fine. Great wee session, nothing major. It actually was really nice after the couple of long runs to get something a little bit shorter in and to introduce that speed work again. I find strides for me obviously improve form, running mechanics, drill in good, shapes that the body should be in. But I do find doing them a couple of days or a day after a long run, it like breaks the shackles. I know that sounds, I don't know if I can explain this properly, but whenever the legs feel heavy and feel leady and feel just like they're tight, I do find that performance strides sort of allows the sort of muscles to elongate again. I don't know if it really does. Actually probably doesn't, but me personally, psychologically and physiologically, that's how it feels. It refreshes me, it makes me feel good again and allows me to go back out running. Takes a little bit of the fatigue and the tiredness out of the legs as well. But yeah, that ended up a 7.5 mile session, just over the hour. Done at before 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Not like me to be doing that, because I usually leave my runs to around 11 on a Sunday. But yeah, really good. So just to summarise the week, it was 63 miles total done, which brings me up to just over 9 hours of training, 9 hours and 8 minutes. Doesn't include my mobility work, a little bit of rowing. No strength work this week, just because I had the track session as well. But yeah, quite a lot of training going in there. The sort of planned date, I have done 691.35 miles since the beginning of June, or the 12th of June, sorry, should I say. And 101 hours of training. Wow, it's a lot whenever you look at it like that there. My mileage to date, as I say, 691 out of an expected 692. A couple of misread of the plan last week, and I am now sort of back where I should be. This week looks quite heavy. This week that we're in now, but I'll not give away too much in terms of what we're going to be doing with that there. So look guys, thanks very much for watching again. If you have any questions in your own training, or if you're doing Dublin yourself, comment below. Let me know how things have been going, and maybe I'll see you in the start line. Cheerio now, bye bye.